So, next, we're going to talk about something that we often kind of overlook in insurance, and that is seasonality. What we know in advance, we can plan for in advance. Knowing when your agency is the most productive will help us plan effectively. So, every agency has some seasonality in their book of business. This means that there are some times where there are more renewals, more activity, such as think about if you're in a big second home market, or in commercial times, 1 renewals can be kind of crazy, or in personal lines, sometimes the summer months are a bit quite more hectic with home purchases. We need to know this so that we can be prepared. When we know it, we can be there to be most productive. We need to think about pre preparing. So, what are things we can do before the busy season? Minimize days off and distractions. Think about accountants. From January through April, do they go off and take 2 week vacations? The answer is generally no. We need to make sure that we're staffed up and planning appropriately. And we need to plan for productive days, which means coming in and making the most of our time. Scale back any non vital projects during the busier times so that way people can stay focused and be at their desks to really serve your customer. Let's look at the seasonality of your agency. This is something we looked at when we were on site, but we want to kind of take the next steps of planning a little bit more in detail of some things that we can do to gear up for those busy times. Based on this, how should we prepare for personal lines? When we know that there's some busier times, what's our plan of attack to make sure we're streamlined and geared up for those renewals? Commercial lines. And here's some things to consider. Are there any special projects during that time that we can delay? Can we look at the vacation and time off? If you know that's the crazy time, is there any modifications we can make to vacations or time off just to have more people be there and be present? And how can we use the slower times to our advantage and really ramp up the projects and ramp up things that we know make a big impact to the agency? How can we get proactive now as opposed to when we need to be? We're next going to talk about something that coincides with that, which is plans for time off. We often find that agencies get severely backlogged when people are out. So we're going to come with our best foot forward on the time off